NASA knows a secret about you. The US government has a secret about you. The elite have a secret about you. There's a reason that black cells are literally in outer space. Your royal DNA cellular bloodline is filled with the God particle, but it lies dormant within you. Beloved, my name is Vicky Dillard. I received supernatural insight concerning your messenger DNA code from a supernatural messenger. If you're not supernatural, this isn't for you, but if it's for you, you don't want to miss my ancestral messenger DNA code activation part 2 on the most magical day of the year. Don't miss it. The link is below. Signs and wonders follow. Don't miss it. 12/12/21 is your day to ascend into your God particle.
Black inmates found innocent after decades, including a 14-year-old boy executed on death row. Shape has just been pardoned after spending 24 years in prison for a murder that he wasn't involved in. Here we take a look at some of the other shocking miscarriages of justice. For most of us, spending decades locked up in a cell for stomach-cutting crime you know you didn't commit is an unthinkable nightmare. But for some, it has been an insufferable reality. Dante Shape was recently granted a full pardon after spending 24 years in prison for murder that had nothing to do with him, not at all. He was just 19 when he was sentenced for the shooting of a 33-year-old George Ladcliffe in 1995. Shape was sent away after a teenage girl who was 15 years then claimed she saw him do it, despite later admitting that she wasn't present. But he was released in 2019, not so long ago, and the pardon now means he's eligible for a compensation of up to $750,000 US. Speaking afterwards, he said, "My family's name has been cleared. It is a burden off my shoulders and my family's shoulders." Let's take a look at some of other injustices involving people who had their freedoms ruthlessly stripped away. George Stinney Jr. was 14 years, only 14 years, when he was executed for double murder in one of America's gravest miscarriages of justice. The trembling boy was strapped into an electric chair in June 1944 for murdering 2 girls, despite no evidence linking him to their death. The victims were Betty June Binker, who was 11, and Mary Emma Thames, who was 8, who were bludgeoned to death with a railroad spike in South Carolina in March 1944. Cops pinned the blame on George. Do you know why? As a black teenager who saw the white girls a day earlier. So his cause of death was because of his skin color. But in 2014, 70 years after his execution, a judge overturned his murder conviction. The harrowing and tragic story of George was told in the 1991 film, The Carolina Skeletons. So it's not a paid promotion, but if you guys can check that movie out, you get details of what we're talking about right now. There's also a harrowing story of the boys who became known as the Central Park Five, was told in a brutal Netflix drama called When They See Us. It deep-cited the jaw-dropping case sparked by the violent rape and assault of a 28-year-old jogger in Central Park, New York, in 1989. 5 boys were framed for the vile crime. Corey Wise, Kevin Richardson, Antron McKay, Yusef Salman, and Raymond Santana. The friends were wrongfully jailed and spent their formative adult years inside, where they each served between 5 and 12 years. In 2002, their convictions were as well overturned, and the traumatized ex-unrated 5 were awarded a whopping $41 million in settlement. Another person is Ricky Jackson, served what was believed to be the longest sentence of any US inmate found to be innocent after spending almost 4 decades in prison. He was convicted of murder alongside brothers Wally Bridgman and Kwame Ajam. The man they were accused of killing was money order collector Harold Franks, who was shot dead in 1975 in Cleveland. The trio were eventually cleared in November 2014 before a settlement of $18 million was agreed. They were released after a key witness confessed to lying. You lie and ruin someone's life forever. Afterwards, an emotional Jackson said, "I can't believe this is over." Bridgman died earlier when he was 66 years after spending half of his life in prison. You may recognize Raphael Lowy of his Netflix show Inside the World's Toughest Prison. The journalist and TV host spent 12 years behind bars himself for a crime he was not responsible for. He was just 19 when he was convicted of murder and a series of robberies in a case dubbed the M25-3. The trio, made up of Lowy and his co-defendants Michael George Davis and Dolph Eggert Johnson, were accused of murdering hairdresser Peter Harburg in December 1988. But they were acquitted after the convictions were ruled unsafe before being released in July 2000. Speaking about the injustice, Lowy said, "Being charged for a crime you didn't commit was tough. Being stood on trial and being accused of doing things you didn't do and people telling lies was tough. Being convicted and sentenced for the worst of all crimes, murder, and sentenced to life in prison, that is to say, you'll never be released until they deem you fit to be released, is terrifying. The list is endless. Please add yours in the comment section if you know of someone in history or where you live that was convicted wrongfully. My name is Osie The Born Child, and thank you so much for watching Africa Diaspora News Channel. Don't forget to subscribe. I'll be seeing you in another video.
Still haven't tried the Locklicious all natural hair care product line? Well, let's hear what the Lock community has to say about it.
I love how it sprays and how it feels, you guys. Like, it feels so good and it smells amazing, you guys.
The Lock and Twist moisturizer was really good for me. The hydration mist was phenomenal.
This is bomb, baby. I was really impressed, kind of blown away, and I think that if you're struggling, definitely go check them out.
And check out the 5-star reviews on our website. So, what are you waiting for? Go to locklicious.com to start treating your crown like royalty.
Hello everyone. Please make sure you subscribe to the African Diaspora News Channel app on these platforms.